Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yes, come on in the room. Click like and share. Let the people know that we are here. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, everybody. It's good to see you. Good morning. Yes, good morning. Hey, y'all. Are you all sharing and liking? Good morning. Let me go to the chat and see who's here. Good morning, good morning. Let's see. Oh, wow. Good morning, Reverend Winter. Hey, Mel Chris. Good morning. Good morning, Natasha. Shout out to Natasha, DigiDeacon, who has been training other DigiDeacons. We now have 4 DigiDeacons in rotation here at Big World Chronicles. And I am so excited. Can you all hear me okay? I'm in a different location, as you can see, and there's a window unit, and it's really, really loud. And so I just realized that I might have to talk up, so let me know if you cannot hear me. Good morning, Dr. Candace. Good morning, Tisa. Good morning, Barbara. Good morning, Maya. Dr. Diane Books. Good morning to you, sis. So proud of you. Good morning, Stephanie Burns. How are you? Good morning, Dr. Akosawa Lasane. Good morning, Antonia. Hello, hello. Welcome to, yes, our DigiDeacon over there on YouTube, Carlene, Dr. Carlene Carey. So appreciate you. Thank you. If Pentecost was, it is Pentecost today. Listen, take in all of the power. Ashe. Yes, I greet you with the love of Jesus and warm hugs of the ancestors. I'm DigiDeacon in training, Carlene, and I will be moderating our chat today. Listen, y'all, we are growing. Do you see this? We are growing. Shout out to our community. My heart is so warm and just filled with joy. And again, Natasha, I thank you so much. I just thank you. Something that started out playing and look how we're growing. Look how this part of our ministry is growing. So I want to thank you. Hey, Tamika. Hey, Dr. Jamie. Hey, Sha. Good morning. I miss you. Good morning, Lawanda. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Over on YouTube and on Facebook. Hey, Monica and everybody. We are just, listen. Oh, you know what? Hold on, y'all. Wait a minute. I think I may have lost my Facebook Live feed. 1 second. Let me tell you something. Me and location. There I am. I was getting ready to say, hold on. Okay. So friends, I want to get started this morning. It is Pentecost, and for those of you who are not Christian or not churched or churched and are just not clear, it is Pentecost today, right, Natasha? I believe it is. What it is, Pentecost is 50 days after the resurrection of Jesus, wherein we, the believers, the ones who believed in the message that Jesus hey, Rihanna, those and Glency, the ones who believed in the message, please share. Y'all should be sharing right now. Please go ahead and share. The ones who believed in this a new world order, if you will, where the last would be first. Where the empire would be called out for its the unjust ways in which it treated the members of under its rule, where it would be impressed upon those the importance of reminding them of their culture, of who they were and are. And so Pentecost then is the promise of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is to provide comfort because Jesus says that he was going away, and this presence, this power was to give us spirit this spirit was to give us power until he returned again. In the meantime, in the physical absence, this presence was not just to give us power, but it was to give us comfort. It was to give us the ability to discern and to perform the same works that he performed as he lived on this earth. It was his gift to believers. And so the excitement around Pentecost is that we are reminded of kind of sort of a secondary kind of incarnation. The first, God becoming one of us, Emmanuel, God in the form of Jesus becoming one of us. The second, I would suggest Jesus providing for us that same spirit that was in him, the comfort, the power, the presence of the Holy Spirit. Y'all let me know if I am talking good, if you are getting this, if you hear me, if you understand. Good morning, Melissa and Kitty. Good morning. Y'all let me know if this is how you understand it. I know I have a lot of theologians on here and a lot of pastors and ministers and everyday folk, and so this is the excitement depending on what you depending on the kind of faith space you grew up in. This would have been a high holy day, Ashe. Thank you, Dr. Candace. So this is Pentecost. This would have been a high holy day. Pentecost also is on, good morning, Devon, or Devon, excuse me. Pentecost is also, it is a part of what is known, I'm moving to where we're going, but it's necessary for me to do this because Christianity is a part of our community, and it is a part of my faith identity. I don't follow closely to the liturgical calendar. I'm not tethered to it in that way. Yet it is important to address and acknowledge and even understand the tenets of what makes a faith, Ashe. And so it is, and Ashe, come on, Dr. Monica. Monica Coleman is in the virtual building and says that it is also the Ifa New Year. And so Ifa, for those of you who do not know, is the Yoruba religion. It is here, the religion of the Yoruba of Nigeria, that many practice all over the African diaspora. And so we acknowledge the new year and Ifa, which brings also blessings and I imagine power, all for Melva, that comes from the same source, right? That comes from Olodumare, the ultimate supreme being, or others may say comes from God, others may say Jehovah or Yahweh. For me, it is that ultimate source. And so this newness thank you, Dr. Monica, this newness, this sort of reset, this acclamation or reclamation of power to be able to shift. We are not reading this text, but I'm thinking about Walter, I think it's Walter Wink's Engaging the Powers, where he talks about pilots. I'm not even going to go into it because it's going to take us somewhere else. But just know, I want to acknowledge this day, and it is fitting that we are continuing on with the text that Spirit dropped on me in my own process of healing. I told you that I'm in the process of reading 3 texts, and they are all about the body, all right? These 3 texts that are all about the body. And for those of you for whom this is your first time in this space, good morning, Dr. Tawana, for whom this is your first time in this space. I want to share with you how we center sacred text, how we acknowledge and understand that there are various sacred texts, spirit-inspired texts that have been provided for our, here's one of my former churchy words, our edification, our spiritual edification, and our emotional and mental edification. And so I have been on a journey and have come to this part of the journey that I believe that, hey, Dr. Anika Wilson Brown, that I believe Spirit has been attempting to get me to for a while. But we are always where we need to be when we need to be there, I say. There is no wasted time in God. We are always where we need to be when we need to be there. There is no wasted time in God. And so here I am doing this body work. And I have been doing parts of it all along as I read this book. And so here we've been centering Black women's sacred texts, texts written by Black women since September of 2021. Spirit has moved. We still do that. But the books that I'm reading now, all 3 of them are not by Black women for this leg of the journey. And so while that is still our main focus, I just want to let folk know it's not that we're not doing that anymore. We absolutely are. But these particular, I hear somebody knocking, but these particular books are, wait a minute, y'all, I hear somebody knocking. Okay. But these particular books are speaking right now, Ashe. So I want to share with you my grandmother's hands. My grandmother's hands. And we're going to begin. Listen, Whitney Baisden Bond, excuse me. Hello, Reverend Sherry. Hello, Yvonne. Good morning. Listen. I'm going to move around in this text, and I want to invite you also, as is our custom, to get you some water. Get you some water and drink. Drink when you hear, when it hits you, when you need. Good morning, Queen Kosi. When you need to replenish, Ashe. So I'm skipping to chapter 3 for those of you who have the book. Excuse me, looking around. I'm in a different location. As you can see, I'm on location. Shout out, it was my mother-in-law's 70th birthday. And so there was a beautiful celebration, a weekend celebration for her. And so I'm in a different location. So I'm kind of looking around because I could have swear I just heard somebody knock on the door. And I'm on Central Time right now. So it's early and I'm like, what's really going on? Just getting comfortable in my surroundings. But just as I said that, I just hear the power and the presence saying, you fine, you're straight, we got you, you're guided, you're good, move forward. So I'm moving forward. Listen for a word from the Lord from chapter 3, a word from the Great Spirit. This chapter is called Body to Body, Generation to Generation. Body to Body, Generation to Generation, coming from the book My Grandmother's Hands, Racialized Trauma and the Pathway to Mending Our Hearts and Bodies, by Resmaa Menakem. And Dr. Jamie is saying that it's still $1.99 on Kindle. So for those of you who read via Kindle, the book is $1.99 right now on Kindle. Good morning, Reverend Rhonda. Good to see your name here. Good morning, Jonetta. Good morning. Okay, listen. Here are the two epigraphs. Not to know what happened before you were born is to remain forever a child. By Cicero. No man can know where he is going unless he knows exactly where he has been and exactly how he arrived at his present place. By Maya Angelou. Most of us think of trauma as something that occurs in an individual body, like a toothache, a broken arm. But trauma also routinely spreads between bodies. On the first sentence, I need to drink. On the first sentence, my goodness. Oh, my God. Whew. Let me go back and read it. Most of us think of trauma as something that occurs in an individual body, like a toothache or a broken arm. But trauma also routinely spreads between bodies, like a contagious disease. When someone with unhealed trauma chooses dirty pain. Now, let me remind you, just for those who are just joining, let me remind you what dirty pain is. The context is important, friends. Okay, so dirty pain is the pain of avoidance, blame, or denial when you respond from your most wounded parts. You could find that definition on page 26. Dirty pain is the pain of avoidance, blame, or denial when you respond from your most wounded parts. Clean pain is pain that mends and can build your capacity for growth. It's the pain you feel when you know what to say or do when you really don't want to say or do it, and when you do it anyway, responding from the best parts of yourself. Ashe? Okay, so let me go back. When someone with unhealed trauma chooses dirty pain over clean pain, the person may try to soothe his or her trauma by blowing it through another person, using violence, rage, coercion, deception, betrayal, or emotional abuse. This never heals trauma. Instead, it increases the first person's dirty pain by reinforcing harmful and aggressive survival strategies as standard operating procedure. It creates a sense of ongoing unease in the first person's body that he or she or they then must override. It may also provoke a reflexively defensive or aggressive response in the second person's body. So here is a question already, just for us to consider. Here is a question. What are some harmful and aggressive survival strategies that you have developed where you can identify that you were operating out of dirty pain and not clean pain? So where you were operating out of avoidance, right? Or out of responding from sort of a lower vibration versus your clean pain, where you knew it wasn't something that you were looking forward to do, but for growth, you know that you needed to address, right? So just put that in the back of your mind. Morning. Yes, Yvonne. Yes, you all got it. You all got it. Okay. Sometimes, are y'all sharing this? I hope that you have shared this because everybody deserves to hear this. Ashe. Sometimes people inflict this pain on others deliberately, but more often it occurs spontaneously and unexpectedly. Y'all, I don't know about you, but this is speaking so deeply to me, causing me to look inward. And can I share? This is also what Pentecost is about. Pentecost is about receiving the power not just to do external things, but Pentecost to me is about receiving the power to turn inward. My goodness, to be able to be comforted as you look inward and begin to heal yourself. It is less about, for me in this stage of my life, in this season of my spiritual walk, it is less about out there. It is less about external representations or an external manifestation. It is about the internal work. My God. Jesus. It is about the internal work, Ashe, that we are empowered to engage, the internal body work. This is where we are, Angel. You're right on the right road. Haven't gotten there yet. It's a few pages in, but we're going. Yes, hearing good news in the language you understand in a way you hear it best in your mother tongue. Ashe. Yes. Okay. So sometimes people inflict the pain on others deliberately, but most often it occurs spontaneously and unexpectedly. Something triggers a person's trauma. His or her lizard brain instantly launches a fight response, and the person physically or emotionally harms whomever is nearby. Even as people in these situations inflict harm on others, their reasoning brains may think, what the hell am I doing? I don't want to hurt this person. But more likely, though, their conscious mind makes up after the fact self-protective rationales. She was reaching toward her purse. There could have been a gun inside. Or I told him to settle down, but he still acted upset, and I felt he might attack me at any moment. When therapists work with couples in crisis, we often discover that at least one partner has unhealed trauma. We also commonly find that the partnership is configured so that trauma gets repeatedly reenacted and sometimes passed back and forth between the two people, right? So it's how Dr. Candace put it. So dirty pain is passed from body to body, from generation to generation. Listen, gosh. And remember, we're not talking about generational curses. We are talking about generational wounding, right? These deep soul wounds, okay? It's not healing, we also commonly find that the partnership is configured so that the trauma gets repeatedly reenacted and sometimes passed back and forth between the two. Healing the trauma becomes the first step in mending the relationship. It's not hard to see how trauma can spread like a contagion within couples, families, and other close relationships. What we don't consider is how trauma can spread from body to body in any relationship. I need water. Y'all, I need a minute. My God, my God, my God, my God. It is not hard trauma also spreads impersonally, of course, and has done so throughout human history. Whenever one group oppresses, victimizes, brutalizes, or marginalizes another, many of the victimized people may suffer trauma. Many of the victimized people may suffer trauma and then pass on that trauma response to their children as a standard operating procedure. Children are highly susceptible to this because their young nervous systems are easily overwhelmed by things that older, more experienced nervous systems are able to override. As we have seen, the result is a soul wound or intergenerational trauma. When the trauma continues for generation after generation, it is called historical trauma. This is trauma that occurs for generation after generation. Okay? Hey, Malika. Historical trauma has been likened to a bomb going off over and over again. When one settled body encounters another, my goodness, this can create a deeper settling of both bodies. But when one unsettled body encounters another, the unsettledness tends to compound in both bodies. In large groups, this compounding effect can turn a peaceful crowd into an angry mob. The same thing happens in families, especially when multiple family members face painful or stressful situations together. It can also occur more subtly over time, when one person repeatedly passes on their unsettledness to another. In her book, Everyday Narcissism, therapy Nancy Van Dyken calls this hazy trauma. I want to encourage all of us, too, to read up on narcissism because you will be surprised how it shows up. You hear the word, you're like, I'm not a narcissist, or no one in my family is narcissist. You will be surprised how this shows up in your space. She calls this trauma, this hazy trauma. It's trauma that can't be traced back to a single specific event. So hazy trauma is trauma that cannot be traced back to one event. Like you don't even know where you picked it up. It's just a part of your body now. You don't even know like what happened, how you got this piece of trauma. It's just a part of you. Historical trauma is that trauma that has been, that continues from generation to generation. So I want to make sure that we're clear, Ashe. Unhealed trauma acts, RG, unhealed trauma acts like a rock thrown into a pond. It causes ripples that move around, affecting many other bodies over time. And after months or years, unhealed trauma can appear to become part of someone's personality. My goodness. Over even longer periods of time, as it is passed on and gets compounded through other bodies in a household, it can become a family norm. And if it gets transmitted and compounded through multiple families and generations, it can start to look like culture. Did y'all hear this? How trauma can start to look like culture. Yes, Yvonne, like this is who I am. This is just who I am. I just say what's on my mind. You know, people can't take me because I'm just honest. I just say what's on my mind and I speak the truth, period. You know, I mean,